We need to understand that remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not just one amal amongst many good deeds. Rather, it is the primary objective of all ibadat. For example, we are required to establish the prayer for what? For zikrullah. Aqimis salata li zikri. Establish the prayer for my remembrance. Look at the example of Hajj. Surah Al-Baqarah, amongst the ahkam of Hajj, we are taught that when you have finished the rituals of Hajj, fazkurullah, then remember Allah. Hajj and Salah, two ibadat. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within these ibadat is teaching us that, look, don't forget the purpose. Don't lose sight of the bigger picture, that why you establishing this deed. And we all know this. The thing we remember in our lives is the thing we value. Please think about this. If we reflect on our daily conversations, you will see that the thing which is coming again and again in our conversation is the thing which we value in our lives. And what we are required as a believer, wazkurullaha kasira. That remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than anything else. And it is the zikrullah. Allah says that wala zikrullahi akbar. That surely the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is greater than everything else. So this is the first point which I want to emphasize, and I beg Allah to allow me to understand and to practice, and then to you as well. And what is that? That remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the objective of all ibadat. For example, Quran. One of the names of Quran is what? Az-Zikr. Quran itself is why? Because when you are reciting Quran through all of different accounts of previous nations, Allah's sifat and all of those things, they are serving the purpose of helping you to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reason I mentioned this point is because sometimes unconsciously we limit the concept of zikrullah to certain phrases. That maybe after salah, then I will say, there's no doubt about that, they are all what? Remember this point. They are the means of remembering Allah. Through Quranic recitation, through salah, through all of these azkar of the morning, azkar of the evening, dua of the masjid, all of these are what? They are the means to a bigger goal. And the bigger goal is to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Feeling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the most important reality of this entire existence. And that's the reason when we start our salah, what we say, Allahu Akbar. This zikr, this means, is the entering into salah. Why? Now I'm saying that there's nothing important now. Allahu Akbar. Now Allah is the greater than everything else. Second point. There are many virtues of zikrullah mentioned in the Quran and in Sunnah. If there was only this one virtue which I'm about to mention, this was more than enough. And what is that? Subhanallah. Fazkuruni azkurkum. Subhanallah. Just imagine. Allah is telling us that you remember me, I will remember you. And then the hadith explains for us That when a person remembers Allah in secret, Allah remembers him in secret. When a person remembers Allah in a public, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that person in a way better gathering of malaika. I mean, just imagine that when a person is engaged in zikrullah, he is being mentioned in the heavenly court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at the virtue. Just one more. Allah. This tool, this Allah in Arabic language, when the speaker is going to say something very important and he wants the audience to pay attention, he will begin with Allah. And then what is the message? Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. That don't lose sight. Remember this principle. What is that? That it is the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through which and by which hearts find peace. Now if you join the dots, aqimi salata li zikri. Salah is being established to remember Allah. And remembrance is for what? Li tatma'innul qulub. What we are learning here is that none of our ibadat is going to increase anything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the ulama, they mentioned that every single act of ibadah is going to benefit us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is as-samad. He is al-ghani. He is not in need of anything. It is us who are fuqara. We need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to worship. We have to engage in these acts. Now, regarding the virtues of zikrullah, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you go and explore the treasure of ahadith, subhanallah, again, for example, I just mentioned inshallah a couple of them. One of the companions, he said that, he asked this question, that like all of these ahkam of sharia, they are becoming too much for me. Give me something which I can hold on to. I mean, look at this question. Is it not the question of most of us today? That I'm finding it very hard to implement all of these ahkam of sharia in my life. What should I do? The advice for that companion and for all of us is what? Make sure that your tongue remains busy with Allah's remembrance. What does that mean? That once a person is engaged in remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it becomes easy to stay away from haram, and it becomes easy to engage in good deeds. That's the wisdom here. That zikrullah facilitates the path of obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One more wisdom from the hadith. Subhanallah. Laysa shay'un anja min azabillahi min zikrillah. That there is nothing which is more saving of the punishment of the last day than zikrullah. That zikrullah is the amal which is going to save most of the people from Allah's punishment. Again, how so? Because a question comes in mind, somebody may be doing the zikrullah all the time and still committing haram. Please understand this. If zikrullah is being practiced with his body and soul, what is the body? Body is this azkar, salah, the formal structure. What is the soul? That heart is attached and heart is remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when the body and soul of zikrullah, when they come together, then they create a personality, a character which obeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I give you a simple example. Please think about this. If you are sitting in a very esteemed gathering, for example, you are in your office, the CEO and all the managers are sitting and you are sitting in that gathering, would you do something indecent? I don't think so. Because you will feel haya, shame. that look, how can I do something indecent in the presence of these people? Zikrullah creates a reality. Theoretically speaking, please listen to this point very carefully. Theoretically speaking, we all know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us, this is Jannah, this is theory. But Zikrullah brings all of that a living reality in your life. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His Jannah, His Jahannam, His love becomes a living reality because of Zikrullah. And once a person is living in this reality, then it becomes, then you feel shame when you intend to do something indecent. So that is the link here, that how Zikrullah is preventing a person, because we may be thinking, I am doing Zikrullah but I'm still not there. Please keep doing Zikrullah, but understand that the body and soul both have to be there. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of us from Az-Zakirullah Kathira wa Zakirat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of us His righteous, grateful servants. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi amma ba'd. Just inshallah in next couple of minutes I just want to advise myself and to all of you that when we want, if we understand the importance of Zikrullah, then how to start implementing in my life. Step number 1, make sincere dua. And as we all know, at the end of every obligatory prayer, what do we say? Rabbi a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. Oh Allah, aid me. Oh Allah, help me. Oh Allah, assist me on what? That I remember you and I show gratitude to you and I worship you in a beautiful way. So step number 1 is make dua in your own language. Make dua in the language in which you feel more connected. Because dua is not just uttering few phrases. It is begging for something. And we all know you can truly beg in your native language, in your mother tongue, in which you feel more connected. So make dua, oh Allah, make me from those people who are living in the true reality of Zikrullah. That Zikrullah is the reality of their life. That is first step. Second step, start working on your salah. The most complete form of Zikrullah is as-salah. It has remembrance of Allah, it has tasbih, it has azkar, it has Quran, it has the physical posture as well. So when it comes to becoming or coming on the path of Zikrullah, the first amal should be salah. And then obviously it's covered in number 1, but you can connect with this one. Increase the quality and the quantity. Quality first. Quality and the quantity of Quranic recitation. Again, best form of Zikrullah. The reason I am mentioning this point is because sometimes unconsciously we have linked Zikrullah with other than these things. But these things are on the top. When it comes to Zikrullah, these things are on the top. As-salah and Tilawatul Quran. And after that, at number 3, Azkar of morning and Azkar of evening. There are certain du'as, there are certain phrases which we learn from the Sunnah, which we are advised to recite in the morning and in the evening. Dear brothers and sisters, I end with this one. As we all know that the famous book of Azkar is called Hisnul Muslim. What does that mean? Fortress of the believer. And it is, the concept is taken from a hadith. And what is the hadith? That the similitude of zikrullah is that as though as your enemy is trying to chase you and hurt you and you are running, and then you see a castle, a fortress which is very strong, durable. You enter into the fortress and you lock the door. And now the enemy, the walls are too high. The enemy cannot climb and the door is locked. You know what is this fortress? Zikrullah. And who's the enemy? Shaitan. Which means that if we are fortifying ourselves in the castle of Zikrullah and with these three things, in the beginning, start with these three things. Salah, Quranic recitation with quality and quantity. And also Azkar of the morning and Azkar of the evening. Inshallah, there are many things we can add with this one, but let's start with this one. And last one, inshallah, before I finish. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, please think about this. When we are driving to our workplaces, when we are coming back from our workplaces, sometimes we have half an hour each side. Engage in those times in zikrullah. Make a habit. Start saying simple things, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Because one of the best azkar is Subhanallah, Walhamdulillahi, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. One of the best azkars. Very simple. You can basically improve the quality of your time. And you will see, even though we don't experiment, we believe. But inshallah you will see that if you start engaging yourself in zikrullah in your daily life, when you're going to your work, coming back from the work, going to shopping center, whatever, when you're doing your walk, make your walk even more productive. You are walking for your health, say Subhanallah as well. You will see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put barakah in our life. Because the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is blessed. Tabarakasmu rabbuka. Allah's name is blessed. When Allah's name is being remembered, the barakah will come in our lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of us from the true zakireen and zakirat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive those Muslimin who have passed away. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give shifa to all those who are sick, especially Brother Asif from our community on the north side and many other people. Wallahi, they are suffering, they are sick. Please make dua for them and make dua for all those people who are sick. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on all of us. May Allah grant us complete and quick recovery. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help the Muslim ummah wherever they are, in whichever difficulty they are. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. أقم الصلاة.
Make an announcement before Salah.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, just a quick announcement. Inshallah, before we start the Salah.